Hey y'all, welcome back to Pauly's Speed Shop. As promised from the last video, this is just a continuation of the same shooting day, same time working on the trimmer. We're going after the power head now. So enjoy. I move things around a little bit here so that we have easy access to the carb. Just spun us around. Why don't we, how about we get into this carburetor and see what's going on. Thought-wise, I had a shortcoming where I decided not to run this thing before we got way into it, and that definitely would have been the smart way to do things. To one way or another get this thing to crank up, hear it run before bothering to go and take stuff apart, order a whole bunch of parts. That's my bad, and that's something that I'm going to be thinking about next time before taking things apart. But if we're this far in, we might as well go after the carb. This is probably one of the two most common problems with a small engine is either the carburetor has gunk in it or water in it, or has had water go through it and now parts are rusting, which in turn makes gunk and clogs things up. Or now what was I thinking about for the second one? Oh, right. So on teeny tiny gas tanks like this, usually there's a little, let's see if I can get it out. I can't really, but if I can get this aimed straight down, way down in there, there's a little straw. The fuel line goes down in, and there's fuel line inside here with a fuel filter on the end of it. Those lines go bad, and the filters go bad. That one actually, jeez, coordination here. That one actually looks excellent. It doesn't look like it's gone bad, but if we get this thing running and we're able to start it up really easily from the from putting some gas in the spark plug hole, but it won't stay running, this is going to be my next move. And I did not order the fuel line kit because that was about, I want to say it was something like $12. And you can get these, there's nothing special to these. You can get the universal ones for $4 or $5 at Home Depot or Lowe's. So that's probably the route I'll go, is I'll just go out and get one if we really need it. Okay, of note here, I gotta stop and talk about this. This kind of chaps me here. There are two screws, and maybe this is because somebody's been in here before, but I doubt it. There are two screws that hold this plastic housing on between the intake manifold and the carburetor, other than the two screws that hold the carb on. These were different bolt head sizes, man. What? The screws themselves, these are the same size. They had two different bolt sizes. That's just crazy. I guess people don't really want you in here, but that seems excessive. It really seems excessive for trying to keep you out of something like this. But oh well, we got in because we have multiple things in our arsenal. Continue here. And there's our carb with O-rings falling off already. Okay, so I went ahead and cleaned this section of workspace because this is where you don't want any dirt or grit or anything to get in or back in. I also dropped this, which is good, but I don't think that's gonna pose much of a problem for us here. So from a quick look, this front piece comes, you know, the throttle actuation piece comes off, and I don't even think that's really going to be necessary to take off. But let's get into the diaphragm side of this, and we'll see. We'll see how it comes apart. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. This does not appear to be a kit for the same carburetor. Oh boy. All right. Which is bad because I pretty much had to rip this gasket off. So that kind of changes the way we're going to do things here. I'm going to try to get this thing back together, but I guess my intelligence on which Walbro carburetor this was incorrect. This side of it may actually be right. Okay, so this all looks pretty good. I'm going to try and put everything in the ultrasonic cleaner and make it look really good. And then we'll see. I may actually have the right gaskets for this side. That matches that, sort of. Just not with that little ear. Okay, so real quick, just put these in for about 5 minutes in the ultrasonic cleaner. All I've got in there is Simple Green full strength, and that seems to do a pretty good job, although it does eat aluminum if you leave it on for long enough. So right now, let's go ahead and hit this with some Carb Clean to get rid of all the rest of the, the residual, and make sure all these passages are clear, everything we can tell, and we will go from there. Start getting this thing back together. Yikes. I'm pretty unhappy with having to reuse that gasket, given how it came off. But at this point, we have no choice. If we need a new gasket, I will get one. All right, and that's it back together. You probably saw me struggling a little bit there and kind of throwing my hands up, and that was because I realized that things weren't fitting together correctly. Once everything got bolted down, I would yank on this guy, and it wasn't moving. Like it would the recoil would pull out and then not recoil. And it turns out there must have been multiple revisions of this machine, and one of the running changes they made were they made this entire housing just a tiny bit shorter. So this housing is actually shorter than the one that came off here. So when this went on, everything bound up back here. And the only way around that, as you can probably see here, and you might be able to make out a little bit down there, the mounting points for this, I had to space out, basically. I had to add some washers to allow this to sit where it normally is. And that was really the only thing that really affected was this part of the back panel is splayed out a little bit. These two bolts right here were a little bit of a stretch to get fitted. But everything went, other than that, everything went back together correctly. Before I go out and really, hook this thing up and hammer on it, I'm going to put some gas in it, see if I can get it to start, and let's start there. All right, let's see how this goes. I would call that a good result. Let's get the end on it. Okay, good result. Not everything went perfect, but about 60 bucks and 2 YouTube videos later, a nice string trimmer went from being completely broken to working great. Am I likely to turn a profit on this? No, but that wasn't really my intention. I mostly do this to learn. I do it to keep machines like this working when they'd otherwise be thrown away or go to a junkyard. And now hopefully to bring y'all some entertainment too. I hope you enjoyed following this project. Hopefully I'll have a few more coming up to show you. But if you have ideas for what I should try to find, fix, or just take apart, let me know in the comments. Thanks for visiting Paulie's Speed Shop, and have an awesome day.